would have informed you that this meeting would be live on YouTube because there are a lot of people who watch it later. Right? So we definitely take it live.
I'm not able to stop it. Yeah, no.
Stop it. It's done. Yes.
I
Yeah.
just need a
No-
minute and I'll be back. Is that okay?
Yeah, no problem, ma'am. Yes, absolutely.
Thank
Yes, Brinda, I've told ma'am, and I've also told her that she'll get the YouTube link.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Rashmi ma'am, I'll be off tomorrow. मैं कल मेरे को एक personal engagement है, so I'm not able to come tomorrow to office. Monday को भेज दूंगी.
वो अच्छा, वो कंफर्मेशन उनका
हाँ.
ठीक है. उनको मैंने मेल आईडी भी शेयर किया है.
हाँ, नहीं वो मैं चेक कर लूंगी. नहीं इनका मैम अर्चना मैम
जिसे इट वाज नॉट, वो गूगल फॉर्म भर रहे थे, वो अपलोड ही नहीं हो रहा था उसका स्क्रीनशॉट.
मैम मे भी बहुत हेवी होगा. See, the thing is, there is a weight restriction on the screenshot. Many people don't understand that bit and they try to upload जो भी उनका screenshot है ना full resolution में, वो नहीं होगा because हम लोग take up to a particular limit. अभी जो आ गया है मैं उसको delete कर देती हूँ so that you know I don't need to worry later कि मेरा भर रहा है जगह करके, so I can delete once. मैं check कर लूंगी and I'll add them to the group if they have already registered and they've paid.
ठीक है.
बस उनको मेल भेजने को आपने बोल दिया होगा ना.
मैंने बोल दिया है, मैंने मेल आईडी भी शेयर कर दिया है बिकॉज वो उसमें मुझे मेल आईडी दिखा नहीं वो राइटअप में.
अच्छा ठीक है मैम,
इसलिए मैंने पूछा था. हाँ, कौन सा मेल.
I think it's 6-2 girls. Shall we just admit?
Brinda, we admit. Yes,
yeah. Sure. I think we will admit everyone. Shall we start, girls?
वृंदा जी बस मुझे 1 मिनट दीजिए, मैं शुरू करूँ.
Sure.
वृंदा जी, shall we start? दोस्तों नमस्ते, हमारे थर्सडे के सेशन में आपका स्वागत है। दोस्तों, किसी भी इमारत के लिए उसकी नींव का मजबूत होना और उसके उन पिलर्स का मजबूत होना बहुत जरूरी है जो उसे थामे रखते हैं। आप जानते हैं कि कुछ समय पहले हमने हमारी हमसफर फैमिली के एक ऐसे ही पिलर हमारे रामचंद्रन सर एंड रामचंद्रन जी को खो दिया है। हम जानते हैं आप सभी इस शोक में समझ नहीं पा रहे हैं कि क्या और किस तरफ जाएं और क्या करें और किस तरीके से चीजों को हमें देखना है, लेकिन हमारी हमसफर फैमिली दोस्तों इतनी मजबूत है और रेखा माँ के नेतृत्व में हम सब एक साथ इस तरह जुड़े हुए हैं कि रामचंद्रन सर की जो उनके थॉट्स थे, जो उनकी सीख थी, जो उनके विचार थे कि हम सफर को आगे बढ़ते जाना है और सबको साथ रहना है, तो मुझे लगता है सच्ची श्रद्धांजलि अगर हम उन्हें देना चाहते हैं तो वो यही होगी कि हम सब साथ रहें, साथ मिलें और अपने बच्चों के लिए एक ऐसी दुनिया बना सके जो ना केवल हमारे बच्चों के लिए बल्कि समाज के लिए भी और आने वाले दुनिया के लिए एक बहुत ही खूबसूरत सी दुनिया बन सके। रेखा माँ के लिए हम सबका प्यार, मुझे लगता है वो एक धागा है जो हम सबको बांधे रखेगा और आगे हमें सर की विचारधारा को बढ़ाने का और दूर दूर तक पहुंचाने का काम करेगा। लेकिन जैसा कि कहते हैं कि जिंदगी की हकीकत है, ये कभी रुकती नहीं, सांसें रुक जाती हैं, जिंदगी रुकती नहीं, काम है वो फिर भी चलने होते हैं। इसीलिए हम सब यहाँ हैं, हम सब आपका धन्यवाद देते हैं कि आप सब भी हमारे साथ यहाँ आए हैं और हमारे साथ बैठे हैं। हम में से किसी के लिए भी डाउन सिंड्रोम फेडरेशन ऑफ इंडिया के लिए छोटे से छोटे, बड़े से बड़े काम करने वाले किसी के लिए भी, वृंदा जी से लेकर, मुझसे लेकर या किसी से भी, रश्मि मैम या समीक्षा, जो भी आप देखते हैं, किसी के लिए भी ये आसान नहीं है, लेकिन हम पूरी हिम्मत से आपके सामने हैं, तो उम्मीद करते हैं कि आप भी पूरी हिम्मत से हमारे साथ होंगे, सहयोग करेंगे। कार्यक्रम को शुरू करते हैं। आज हमारे साथ हमारे गेस्ट हैं अर्चना शर्मा जी, जो एक क्लिनिकल साइकोलॉजिस्ट हैं। तो कार्यक्रम शुरू करने से पहले मैं अपनी दोस्त समीक्षा को बुलाती हूँ। समीक्षा।
सही कहा पारू। गुड इवनिंग, thank you so much, and good evening parents, welcome in today's session. On 16th April, as Parush mentioned, we all heard a earth-shattering news, and the entire Hamsapa community in India and the entire Down syndrome community of Asia Pacific region and many other parts of the globe experienced it as a personal loss. Yes, it was the news of Mr. N. Ramachandran sir's demise. And today, we, the entire Hamsafar family, extend our deepest condolences on the passing of a titan of humanity, as Parul rightly mentioned. Mr. Ramachandran sir lived a life of service, embodying the spirit of giving. He had many portfolios to his credit. We don't want to mention them here today. His contribution will always be remembered and cherished. He has touched so many lives. And with profound sadness, we mourn the loss of this visionary philanthropist, whose selfless dedication transformed countless lives. His legacy of generosity, kindness, and unwavering commitment to of upliftment of people with Down syndrome and advocating their rights throughout the globe will continue to inspire generations. May his noble soul rest in eternal peace. A great philanthropist has gone to their rest. His work will live on in the hearts of each one of us, as Parush mentioned. And to Rekhama, Babli, and Rahul Anna, and everyone in the family, we want to say, we share your grief and pray for peace. Can we observe a silence of 2 minutes, please?
ओम शांति। समीक्षा, मैं चाहती
Yes.
हूँ एक बार आज के गेस्ट को आप बुलाएं और कार्यक्रम को शुरू।
Ji, thank you so much, Parul. Thank you so much, everyone. Continuing the legacy of the Down Syndrome in Asia Pacific Down Syndrome Federation of having such spirit in our hearts, we begin today's session. Thank you so much, Archana ma'am, for bearing with us and being part of this important moment for us. So today we have with us Archana Sharma ma'am, who's a clinical psychologist specializing in emotional, behavioral, and developmental issue for all ages. She uses evidence-based methods, especially cognitive behavioral therapy, focusing on structured assessment and targeted interventions. Archana ma'am emphasizes child and adolescent mental health, helping children and families with behavioral and emotional issues. Her work often supports individuals with neurodevelopmental conditions, integrating developmental psychology principles for personalized interventions. She prioritizes psychoeducation, caregiver involvement, and skill building strategies in everyday life, which is so important for all of us as a Humsapar community. We know that how important for a person who is supporting us for the challenges of our self-advocate, having all these kind of approaches. Today, she is going to speak on the topic social competence and emotional behavioral regulation in children and adults with Down syndrome. A very warm welcome to you, Archana ma'am. Thank you so much for being part of us. And we are very grateful for IIP West Delhi for always bringing the experts from different fields we require for this platform. Welcome once again, ma'am. Over to you.
Thank you, Samiksha ma'am. Am I audible? Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, so first of all, thanks a lot to your organization, Down Syndrome Federation of India, and IIP West, which is Indian Academy of Pediatrics, West Delhi chapter. So I'm representing IIP West here. So as a clinical psychologist, yes, I'm a clinical psychologist, but a lot of my work has been with children and adults who have neurodevelopmental conditions. And doctors and professionals like us keep on doing whatever we can do. But the support that is provided by federations and support systems and self-help groups like yours is unmatchable. It is a lot of work, and I know it is a lot of work. And you people are the real teachers, honestly speaking, because you know more than us. What we know is through the theoretical, through research papers. First, we have a little bit of a real life experience too. But meeting somebody who has neurodevelopmental challenges for a few minutes or for a few hours in our clinical setting is not, it cannot do justice. It's not even the tip of the iceberg. So I think, I am greatly, extremely grateful to all of you. Although they are, biologically or, maybe family-wise your children, but they are everybody's children. They, whenever we see any client, or we always say, oh, one of my children, we always refer to our clients also that one of my children, one of my parents. So it's a big community, and I'm happy to be here. So I'm going to speak today about, one second, I'll just share my PPT. As Samiksha ma'am said earlier, I'm going to speak about I'm going to speak about social competence and emotional behavioral regulation in individuals Down syndrome. So, as a clinical psychologist, I often have people come to me with Down syndrome, with other neurodevelopmental conditions, with complaints around social competence. Maybe, I get to hear a lot of times that our client or our child or our family member is doing otherwise very well, can understand a lot of things, but socially they are not as competent, or socially they're not as well adjusted as we would want them to be. And emotional regulation, what I'll just briefly speak about emotional regulation here is that the person gets sad, or the person gets anxious, or the person gets angry very quickly. Okay, so speaking about social competence first, I would like to say that social competence is often misunderstood. It is not just about being friendly or sociable. Many people with Down syndrome are warm, very engaging, and largely speaking, socially
Excuse me,
interested.
ma'am. Just
Yes,
we can't see your slides if you are sharing.
I'm surprised. I wait.
Yeah, yeah. It will not run on a presenter mode, I think, but it will run on a normal PPT.
I think I shared and probably it did not go through. One.
Pancham. Sorry to interrupt. Yes.
No, thank you so much for pointing out.
Yeah.
Visible now?
Yes, it's coming. Yes. Only the full screen.
Now is it visible?
Yes, ma'am, it's visible. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So basically, I was talking about what is social competence. What is social competence? Well, social competence, like I was said, it is not just about being friendly or sociable. I often say this, lots of people with Down syndrome have a very nice temperament. They are friendly, they are warm, they are generally very engaging. But that is not being socially competent. Okay. Social competence is about the ability to be able to coordinate social understanding, emotional regulation, and environmental awareness in a way that fits the situation. Not that the situation could be anything. It could be maybe the school situation, maybe the clinical situation, maybe the family situation. So while the child may appear socially outgoing, managing real life interactions effectively is still a developmental challenge that most of the teenagers and even adults uh, suffer suffer from. So if we speak about the social cognitive profile, we see both strengths and challenges here. So first of all, one important sense is socialization. So in people who have Down syndrome, compared to communication or daily living skills, social interest is generally very strong. Okay, like we may see in other developmental disorders or which have a component of communication and socialization. It is not the case here. Generally, the people who have Down syndrome, they are socially interested. Another key strength is that of imitation. So they generally have a good imitation skill. They are obviously more likely to copy peers as compared to adults. And this is why the whole idea of inclusive education is very important. Inclusive education is not only about our legal or ethical rights, it is also about the fact that the research shows that when um, people with children with neurodevelopmental challenges are able to imitate and copy other individuals with neurotypical profiles, their social skills see a lot of growth, right? Especially with those people who share their general interests. Now, speaking about, there is another aspect here is that of passive and assertive social skills. Many children are good at responding when someone else initiates interaction, but they struggle with assertive skills such as starting a conversation, suggesting a game in a peer situation, or maybe taking initiative. We also see delays. This is one of the challenges basically. We also see delays in theory of mind. That is the ability to understand what others are thinking or feeling. This develops more slowly. Overall pattern or development is similar, like it is developed in other neurotypical individuals. Okay. So I just off the slides for a minute. I have tried to include information and research findings from latest research, because theory and the bookish language and everything we all know a lot, but I am trying to incorporate what is going on these days in this particular context. A lot of it makes it seem a little academic initially, but I have
Yes, ma'am.
tried to make it into tips later on,
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
so
ma'am.
that we can have concrete takeaways from the discussion today. I have seen that some people are probably also texting on the text box. Maybe we will take all the questions
Yes.
later on once we
Yes,
finish.
ma'am. Yes.
Now, now I'm going to speak about executive function and socialization. So, a lot of people might, be doubtful. Why are we talking about executive functions here? Executive functions are the mental skills that help us plan, control behavior, and adapt to situations. Now, these three mental skills are extremely important for social success as well. So, the research shows that skills like inhibition and shifting are strong predictors of social functioning. Inhibition, when to stop inappropriate responses, such as when not to interrupt others, not to react impulsively, is related to our executive function of inhibiting. Shifting. Shifting is referring to changing roles in a game. Okay, now you were somebody who was playing, playing the teacher. Now suddenly you are the one who's acting to be a student. Or now, till now, we were following this rule. Now, till now, you were supposed to run after other children. Now you are the one the others are catching. So this kind of shifting is extremely important. Now, this skill of inhibition and of shifting may vary from person to person. So whenever we are able to teach these skills in those children where it is deficit, where there's a deficit of these skills, the social situations become easier to manage. All right. And when these two skills of executive functions, these are the two skills that I'm referring to. One is inhibition and another is shifting. Whenever these skills are weak on the weaker side, social situations are difficult to navigate for children and for parents. So let's talk about emotional regulation now. So what is emotional regulation? Emotional regulation refers to our ability to stay within what we call a window of tolerance, a state where the child can function, think, and respond appropriately. Now, let's be honest, as even as adults, this is not a skill that all of us have. Our emotional regulation can get out of the window of tolerance many a time. But with children, with adults who have neurodevelopmental challenges, this emotional regulation is more of a problem. So whenever this regulation breaks down, we see emotional dysregulation. So the person's emotional response will not match the situation. They may react too strongly, or they may struggle to calm down in the situation. So there are also neuropsychological links in the situation. Children who show more emotional dysregulation, they often have poor motor coordination and visual motor skills as well. Another important factor is that of frustration. Whenever children are experiencing repeated failure, especially in play due to motor difficulties, they become very frustrated. And this frustration can build up maybe in the situation or over a period of time, and it can lead to emotional outbursts. I must mention here, a lot of times the sense of failure is not coming from actual failure in a particular situation. It could be coming from the expectations of the caregiver. Oh, you can do better. You did not do this thing right. Oh, yes, yes, okay, okay, but, yes, but kind of a situation where maybe the child is able to play nicely with some clumsiness here and there, but because of the caregiver's reaction, the situation is perceived as a failure. So that may also lead up to a lot of frustration. Now, sleep and behavior are also related. We all know that. So poor sleep will impact emotional control, and which in turn will also impact sleep. So that's the vicious cycle that we will have here. So now this is very loaded. So I thought, I just wanted to, put it all here basically. So here I am going to speak about, there is one approach which is called EXPO approach. Okay, EXPO is called executive function play opportunities, basically. Okay. It's a structured play-based intervention. It focuses on, and it has been proven to be very effective for individuals with Down syndrome. So now we may not be able to apply it in its purest and most research oriented form, but we can use some downloads from this particular strategy to help our children, right? So this particular strategy focuses on improving working memory, inhibition, and flexibility through short engaging activities. The other is the theory of mind training. So the theory of mind training focuses on helping children understand other thoughts and emotions through activities such as shared reading, role play, and discussion. I'll be talking about it in a bit of a detail as we go further. So, first of all, let's speak about the practical communication tips here. You can see here. So, while we are implementing visual aid, okay, for improving working memory. So, we can use symbols and images, as you can see on the slides as well. And whenever, we are communicating with the children, we have to give at least 30 seconds of space after asking the question to allow for cognitive process. We can use role plays and videos to teach emotions. And we always have to use this validation statement. It is okay not to be okay. So a lot of times I have seen adults or caregivers brushing off children or people who have neurodevelopmental disorders. They brush off their feelings. They always, by default, we tell them, "Oh, you don't know. Oh, he doesn't know. He likes to eat biscuits, but he doesn't know." And we will take a decision for them instead of letting them take a decision which they are extremely pretty much capable of taking. However, we and because of this habit, we end up invalidating their emotions as well. This can be a very huge problem, and a lot of times we forget that other children, other individuals can they're allowed to feel anything. They are allowed to express anything. All right. So we have to be extremely cognizant of the fact that we have to validate their feelings. It's very important. So I'll I'll now talk about executive functions again. If we go deeper into executive function profile, we see that emotional control can sometimes be a relative strength. The working memory is consistently a challenge. This is I'm basically citing research here basically, and you can go through the papers on this, or we can try to work on their working memory, inhibition, and this thing. I think I can maybe skip these slides, and because I can see a lot of people have a lot of questions here, and we can spend time on questions after this. Yeah. So in social and peer settings, social competence depends on multiple systems working together. Invitation, like I said, I can see somebody raising a hand. Samiksha ji, can you?
Yes. Purva, we will take the question at the end. Please
All
wait.
right.
Yeah.
So, yeah, imitation is a very key learning. So, placing children who have Down syndrome, placing adults who have Down syndrome in situations with other neurodevelopmentally typical children and adults can be a very effective strategy, because they are going to observe and copy peers, exposing them to communities, exposing them to maybe play zones, parks, exposing them to play with other friends, maybe with cousins, speaking to other classmates. So these things can be emphasized while the child is going to a particular school, we can speak to the teacher that the child should be allowed to mingle with the other neurotypical children, as long as the child is not um, harming anybody or hitting anybody. The child should be allowed, and if the child is harming anybody or hitting anybody, of course, we can teach them better expressions, or we can teach them assertiveness skills. A lot of times it has come to my notice that any child who is not able to express the in the social situation, in the classroom situation, so they act out by maybe hitting somebody, by biting somebody, and till the time we do not work on that cycle, till the time we do not identify that cycle, we would not be able to achieve anything by just telling the child who is biting or hitting or pushing the other children, don't do this. They are just simply trying to tell that something is missing. So imitation is going to really help in this area. You can always have a buddy for the child in the classroom situation, maybe in cousins. And when the buddy is expressing to the teacher, when the buddy is expressing to other children, the child with Down syndrome is automatically going to observe and imitate and observe and apply the same behavior. Okay. So here also theory of the mind delays also can be managed in the school situation, such as the child comes back from school and is narrating how his or her day went, and the mother says, oh, all right, so what do you think today your friend was thinking when you told her that you don't want to sit with her? Okay, when you said that, ma'am, I want to talk to you, what do you think ma'am was thinking? Asking them questions such as guess the emotions, guess the thought. These exercises can be extremely helpful in the school situations as well. I understand expecting the teachers may not be practical here, but the parents can do this. And trust me, the child might be able to predict what mama is thinking or mama is feeling, but because that's everyday business and children are naturally good at that. But they may not be very good at thinking or observing what their peers are thinking. And they usually end up making a wrong assumption about the whole thing. Now, their behavior will make complete sense in the background of that particular assumption. So let's say if I'm not able to understand that if I push my friend, if I tell my friend that I don't want to sit with you, my friend is going to be upset, or my friend is not going to think that I don't like her. And in my mind, I do not have any such expression. I just am just trying to tell that friend, okay, let me put my bag here, let me keep my pencil box here. So a lot of these things can happen in the social situations, and we can help the children through picking up skills, um, assertive skills such as asking the other children, how were you today? Did you do your homework today? So we can do some very short scripts for everyday use. And we have to realize that if our child has passive skills, like the child is going to respond to other um, children or other teachers when they speak to them, maybe nobody will speak to them. So we have to teach them assertive skills. We have to teach them very small scripts that they can go. Maybe just a hi, maybe just a wave, maybe just the action of wanting to share. So not everything has to be verbal. Some of the things can also be non-verbal. So of course, we can. This is more personalized over a period of time, honestly speaking. Okay. Okay, so this is how Expo is executed in a more detailed form. The 12-week parent-mediated program, it basically uses play to build executive functioning skills. It starts with basic play and then it moves on to working memory, inhibition, flexibility, planning, And of course, at the end of it, consolidation. So not the sessions are very short. The sessions are not the long ones because the child is not able to hold their attention span for a very long time. So it can include, just 15 to 20 minutes of a session, which can include activities such as hiding or recalling objects and other, inhibition exercises. The child is um, playing the ball and in the stop, then we are hitting with something and then immediately, start doing, shift the activity. These things can actually, when they're integrated into play, they can actually improve our executive functions, and we are assuming that better executive function is going to translate into better social competence. So that's the idea behind it. And theory of the mind training. So theory of the mind training is basically, um, we can just start reading with the child, simply shared reading, assigning emotions to characters, and role playing. Now, let's say I am the teacher and you are the child, and then we do role reversal. Or maybe I am one child and you are another child. We meet in the park, and I say this. What will you say? I tell you, oh, you're not a good child. And what are you going to tell me? I'm going to give you a compliment. What are you going to tell me? So basically, um, we can do role plays, and of course, for shared reading. We are reading together something, and we stop. Wait. Let's think. What do you think now? What Kiara is going to do next? What do you think she feels in this situation? So the reason behind all this is that research shows that children first understand emotions and then believe, and then they will understand, more complex ideas. Language, of course, plays a huge role here. Um, Children with better language skills obviously will show better outcomes. And I understand that, with all our emphasis on curricular activities and uh, extracurricular activities, it is very difficult to focus on language and everything. But we have to understand there is if we are able to work on the language skills, it is going to help them over a period of time with everything, including extracurricular and curricular activities. So I would urge all of you to work a lot on the language bit of it, because it is going to help in emotional regulation. It is going to help in social competence. It is going to help the children in their school curricular and extracurricular activities as well. So till now, I have briefly discussed, what we can take from these research-based activities or techniques. Now I'm going to speak about the practical strategies that we can actually do. So first of all, using visual aids. Since children often process visual information better than spoken language, images, symbols, maybe, visual social stories can actually be very, very useful. And again, emphasizing processing time is very critical. Ask a question, please wait for 30 seconds. As caregivers, as mothers, as professionals, we are very impatient. If we'll ask a question, repeat in 5 seconds. Repeat in 5 seconds. Repeat in 5 seconds. By the time 30 seconds are over, we have already repeated the question 4 times. And now the child is probably already having a sense of false failure. Oh, I have failed to answer. Now we have already injected emotional dysregulation into the system. Let's please learn to ask a question and wait. Okay, and any learning, any role play has to be context based. So please try to pick up role play from the child's everyday situation. What happened in the school today? So we will do a role play around this, not like that. What happened in the school today? And after a few days, let's play a game today. And then you pick up all the situations that you have understood from school. Maybe the teacher told you, maybe the other children told you, maybe your own child told you, or anything that might have been happening. You can integrate. And whenever we are doing role play, we do not have to make it a moral, ethical learning session, please. You can just stick to only how to express my feelings. Oh, that makes me happy. You did that, I did not like it. That made me angry. When you told me that you cannot be my friend, I was very upset. No, something like that. And no overloading. Like, so that's why we need to keep these sessions extremely brief, not more than 15 to 20 minutes. Okay. And I am again validating what the child feels is very important. So I think, I will, so I'll speak about this now. Validate all feelings, first of all. Explicitly say that you are angry and that is okay. But you feeling angry is one thing. You throwing things when you're angry is second. So let's try to separate this. So when you feel angry, you come and tell me that you're angry, or you go and tell the other person that what you did made you angry. I am angry. I am upset. I am sad. But taking out your emotion onto the other person is not okay. And also, we have to tell them, oh, it's time to eat dinner. Please have it. Are you feeling hungry? Do you feel tired? Okay, and then you see them that they're breathing very shallow. They seem to be anxious. Ask them to notice how the heart is beating. Right? We do not have to take care of the child by deciding when are they feeling hungry, when are they now you're tired, go to rest. Go rest. You're thirsty, go have water. Your heart is racing very fast. Ask them to notice. Always before we check on any behavior, we have to address the basic needs. Is the child hungry? Is the child sleepy? Is the child comfortable? And everything. But whatever it is, these are, even if the child is not able to understand, even if the child is not able to give you an answer, the child would be able to recognize these feelings very gradually, and that helps in emotional expression as well. Yeah. So I think I've covered a lot of this again. I wouldn't repeat. Okay, this is very important. Now, we cannot expect anybody to regulate themselves in a chaotic environment. Any busy, a noisy, unfamiliar environment can easily overwhelm the child, which overwhelms us as well. So, in that situation, they would not be able to understand the language that is being thrown at them, but which they are able to otherwise understand in other situations or regulate behavior. Having predictable routines is very important. And if we are taking the child to a noisy place, we have to probably, have something, some routine, some object, some food item, maybe some toy, which will act as an anchor to help them regulate, to feel safe, or to feel settled. A lot of times, you can probably maybe carry a softie, or maybe we can carry some other toy, some fidget toy or something like that. That helps the child regulate into situation. Of course, changing routines and basically having established situations can obviously help the children. But otherwise, we do have to take the child somewhere. And then, on the basis of those situations and the basis of those environments, we cannot just simply draw the conclusion that the child is not able to regulate their emotions. We have to be extremely cognizant about the fact the environment is extremely relevant, or the context is extremely relevant whenever we're making judgments about these situations. So that's about it from my side. I would invite questions now. Like
Yes.
I said, all of you know better. So I've just tried to
Thank you so much, Archana ma'am,
compile very
for
small information.
yes,
Yeah.
very beautifully you compiled, and a lot of things, so many tips you gave, which are so important and can easily be incorporated in day-to-day routine of a child. But yes, as you rightly mentioned, many times, most of the time, not us, the parents of the persons with Down syndrome, all the parents become expecting results sooner than, uh, uh, than they should. So yes, and yes, beautifully mentioned that the
That is
more
because,
opportunity we give,
Samiksha ji, that is because of the fact that, we attach our children's behavioral outcomes to our
yes,
own
yes.
self-esteem.
Yes, and
That is the reason.
so many times we have also come across this, that whatever behavior from a child comes, we look at as an adult perspective. So beautifully you told that you have to get down to the child's level and be the child sometimes and let the child do the parenting. That's a very beautiful takeaway for me personally. And yes, children with Down syndrome are naturally inclined towards order and routine. And if we provide them that kind of because it gives everybody a sense of security and control over their lives, right? So yes, giving opportunities is very important. So many beautiful tips you have put together in your presentation for us, and thank you so much for that. And yes, the questions are already ready, and we have the first question which came, I think, in the mid of your presentation. We'll take that first. And I think you mentioned also in your PP during your speech about it, but we'll still take it, and I'll read it for the sake of the audience later on. It says that, hello ma'am, I have one question. How to manage throwing and pinching behavior of my child? Yes.
Yeah. So first of all, we have to understand the behavior is just a symptom. The reason behind the behavior needs to be understood. We have to understand where the child is thinking, whom the child is thinking, what is the context, and so first of all, we analyze the context when it is occurring. Then we analyze what is the frequency of this particular behavior, and then we try to see is the child trying to tell us something through pinching, right? It is just a behavior, and just simply telling the child don't pinch is not going to suffice. We have to give some practical alternative to the child. Maybe the child is trying to communicate something, and the child needs some sign that, I need to communicate, I need to say this. That needs to be looked in. And whatever it is, it has to be developmentally appropriate too. We can't expect the child to say something
Absolutely.
which is out of his or her league. Yeah.
Ji. Ji. Purva, you have raised hand again, and sorry to turn you down that time, but today, now we can take your question. Please unmute and ask.
Ma'am, in your slide, you have talked about some of the theory of mind training. So in that, you have talked about the shared reading. So could you please share the name of the books which can help in
No, no,
the
no. Any
establishing
book,
the child's
any book,
imagination? And all?
any book that a child can read. If the child is not able to read something which is longer, we can simply pick up a picture with more pictures and less sentences. Simple to read as well.
So any of the book
Any book.
book name, oh ma'am,
Any
title
book.
of,
It
which
should
is
not
like
be information based. Any book which has characters, which has friends, which has probably animals, and we can attach certain emotions to them. We can attach certain thoughts to them. Should be useful.
I think
okay, and
how
Any
you
story
read
book.
it is more important. How you modulate your voice while reading it is important in the book. Purva, you were adding something.
Yes.
yeah. So if we wanna create like 4 pages of a book, मतलब like book of a 4 pages. तो could you give me like थोड़ा सा आप बता सकते हो कि किस तरीके से हम रीडिंग को इनिशिएट करके 4-5 पेज की एक बुक बना सकते हैं इस पर्टिकुलर थ्योरी ऑफ माइंड?
नहीं नहीं, मेरे ख्याल से आपको ये समझना होगा कि हम यहाँ पे किसी पर्टिकुलर किताब की बात नहीं कर रहे। हम यहाँ पर कोई भी किताब ले सकते हैं, कोई भी स्टोरी ले सकते हैं। आप कोई पंचतंत्र की स्टोरी लीजिए, जैसे पंचतंत्र की स्टोरीज हैं, वो छोटे बच्चों के लिए बहुत ही छोटे लेवल पर होती हैं, सिंपल होती हैं। जैसे जैसे बच्चे बड़े जाते हैं वैसे स्टोरी थोड़ी कॉम्प्लिकेटेड हो जाती है। आप उसका एक सिंपल वर्जन चूज कर लीजिए, आपको कोई किताब बनाने की जरूरत नहीं है। आप छोटी सी कोई भी स्टोरी ले लीजिए, कोई स्कूल की किताब उठा लीजिए, उसमें जैसे कि आपने पढ़ रहे हैं तो आपने उनसे पूछा कि अच्छा आपको क्या लगता है कि ये बच्चा आप क्या सोच रहा होगा, अच्छा अब क्या ये सोच रहा होगा, अब ये पानी के सामने खड़ा है, अब ये क्या सोच रहा है, तो उसके दिमाग में क्या चल रहा होगा। यही यही बात है जो हमें थ्योरी ऑफ माइंड में हमें बताई जाती है।
Yes.
Okay.
Basically
Okay, ma'am.
to ignite the child's mind, answering on their own behalf what is happening in the story, and if they would have been in that place, something like that, if I'm getting it right. Yes, Deepa, you have raised hand. You can ask question, then I'll take questions from the chat box.
Yeah, so my question is more around sensitizing other children. A lot of times, they don't understand, especially children about aged 4 and 5. And my daughter is age 8. So they can say very hurtful things like, oh, you don't even know how to talk clearly. So how do we sensitize such children? They say, don't play with us, you can't run fast enough. And they're too young for me to talk about Down syndrome. So how do we bring about the change there?
I think that's a struggle area for me as well, honestly speaking, because thanks for putting this up. I think this is a huge struggle for all of us. So I think you can try speaking to their parents, first of all, in case you have access to them. Making very small children is not going to be easy, first of all, and they are not probably going to understand in the language maybe what the parents speak about. Their parents can talk about it. Their parents can speak about that, whatever be the case, they can at least refrain from making mean comments. And but at times, 4 to 5 children, 5-year-olds, olds are depending upon the social maturity and social skills, they may not be able to differentiate mean comments from kind comments.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we probably can teach some assertive skills to our children about how we can give some small, sweet comebacks to such statements,
Sorry,
depending
could
upon
you
the
repeat
situation,
that?
of
The
course.
last bit, how do we empower our children?
To be able to give them comebacks, to answer them back.
Okay.
In case somebody is being unkind to them, or in case somebody is being rude to them, how do we deal with that? I mean, don't speak to me like that. I do not appreciate. Hi.
Say
Hi,
hi.
Meera.
Hi, friend.
Hi.
Deepa, what I would say, I did some few sessions with the classroom setting where it's easy to connect with the children. So you have to get down to their level.
Yeah.
And you have to share with them that, with the social stories work with our children.
Yeah.
Same way the small social stories also work with any children. So when you
Yes.
say that, when you become a buddy with a person, like you can pick any Panchtantra story where there is a, a weak animal and a strong animal, and how they like a slow turtle going and the fast jumping, rabbit. That also you can modify and sensitize small children, and they connect faster.
No, so
You can start
That's
from
very
likes and
good.
dislikes also.
I've done that in the school, that
Yes.
Meera do. But in the apartment, right? It's a diverse community. So I'm not able to make that. But maybe I'll speak to parents and see how.
Yes.
I think speaking to
Invite them for
parents
a
would be
social
more
story session. You are
easy.
good at that. All of them.
Yeah. Yes.
Thank you,
Yeah, or
Deepa,
we
for
can
bringing
probably,
this. Yes,
yeah.
Archana ma'am, it is very common. You also must be experiencing in your clinic that at very small age also these kind of things are starting. Whereas in our times, or there were times when we used to think only in schools, this is a kind of bullying only, we would say, if we can say that. So at very small stage, the children start, they're very expressive. And
I wouldn't call this bullying. It's just that these small children are also not trained in having good amount of social skills, and they also do not
absolutely.
know how to handle diversity.
Yes,
And then
sorry.
probably they
Yes,
are
wrong
coming
word.
from a space. No worries, ma'am.
Yeah.
But they are also coming from a space where they are not able, as I said earlier, they're not able to differentiate between kind comments and unkind comments. So they just
Yes.
say anything.
Yeah.
And they probably
Yeah. The
have
social
been hearing
story
these
around
comments from
this
other
kind
children,
of.
as well.
Yes.
That also happens.
Yes.
Yes.
So thank you for that input. And here another question comes. It says, my daughter is 8-year-old. In daytime, she always tells about to use washroom, but in the nighttime, she almost daily into bedwetting, and how to control or how to modify this kind of occurrence in a
So
child.
maybe she is not yet mature. Her biological systems are not yet mature. And depending upon whether she achieved the day control, when did she do that? I think it may or may not be connected to Down syndrome, honestly speaking,
Yes.
because this is a typical problem that we see in a lot of children. Until the time, you do not get I think the child pediatrician needs to be consulted for this. They can run some tests and all that, and they can tell us how it can be managed. And we can, we follow the usual managing or controlling liquid intake after evening hours and everything that can help.
Yeah. So another question comes for an adult with Down syndrome. It says that with limited vocabulary and the adult gets angry if refused to told to do something. He likes to touch people around, although it's been told so many times, but he exhibit this in his center setting. What to do to help him? How to get more social interaction at older age? These are
Yeah.
questions from the same parent.
Difficult.
Yeah.
Difficult stuff.
Yeah.
So what we can do is we can probably help him with some emotional cards, or these days there are certain toys in the market which when you press a lever, it changes the facial expression. So probably he can use that to express. And we have to figure out what is he trying to tell other people whenever he is touching other people around him. Is he trying to initiate conversation? Is he trying to initiate
Ishita,
a
are you there?
reaction?
If you can. She's there. Ishita, can you unmute and add on to what ma'am is trying to ask?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hello, ma'am. Yes. Hi. Hello. Actually, this is for my son. He's 19, going to be 20 this year, and he goes to one center over there. At home, in my presence, he knows that he has to behave and do. He won't do any these kind of. But when he's alone in the center, he's a very different boy. Everybody says in your absence, he tends to like do everything, which he's not doing in front of me. And this thing have like been really in. First of all, he makes loud noises over there because he don't have that vocabulary and communication. Means he can say, but he tends to like just make sounds. And then secondly, he tries to touch, and especially girls, because they try to move back and respond. Boys, they are like, they tell him stop or do something, then he don't do to them. But then they take it a wrong way that, oh, he's doing more to the girls, because he says that they don't respond much, so they feel scared, so he get, okay, I can overpower them or like show his. So then he has been always put into condition, like you told to be sit on a separate side, then he feels bad also. But again, he do the same thing repetitively. Means it's almost like 1.5 year. And then we are like struggling, like we want him to be there in the center because it's a nice place, but this is hindering his inclusion over there.
Right. So you know what, Aishita, I think we have to pay attention to one thing. Is he getting enough attention while he is in the center one? Is it so that whenever he is alone or he is bored or he does not have anything to do, that is the time he tries to do something to extract attention from the other person? And that is obviously 100% useful to get somebody's attention.
Yeah, actually, we told that to them also. Maybe he's asking for your attention, but they say when we give him attention, then he becomes more cheeky and more moving around us and all that around the teachers. So then he becomes more defined, like more disturbing. So that's a challenge. It's
Definitely that's a challenge. So probably what we can do is we can keep a detailed account of his behavior. Whom is he touching? When is he touching? What is the time when he displays this behavior a little bit more? And we can, probably cope ahead in the sense that we can give him some activities, some things that he can do on his own, or we can try and make him engage in some games with other students as well. Maybe some card games, maybe some board games, very simple one, and so that he gets attention. And even in the card games and board games, we can teach him to sit across the table with a sufficient amount of distance. And we can have some, very simple repercussions that in case you touch, we stop saying. So, something like that. So very gradually for 15-20 minutes every day, we can initiate this while he maintains the distance. And we reinforce him by giving him praise when he is able to maintain that distance. Okay, so and gradually, instead of telling him you will not touch anybody, stay away, and punishing when he does that, so then we are giving him negative attention. So first of all, let him give a situation where he's able to display that skill, which will get him positive attention, give him positive attention, and thereby we will reinforce that particular behavior of maintaining distance. So the target behavior is not touching somebody. The target behavior is to maintain appropriate social distance. And we can do social stories on this as well.
Okay, ma'am. Yeah,
you are right. And probably if the school is willing, if the center is willing, so they can have their peers do small, demo that I wanted to tell, Ishita wanted to tell Archana something, and Ishita did not go and touch Archana. Ishita said, "Hi, Archana," or, she waved like this, and she just showed her a card. Anything non-verbal, whatever your son is capable of doing, they can demonstrate that.
Right. No, you are right. He is, when they are not doing any activity, they are sitting down and waiting, then he starts doing all these things to disturbing others. When they are in an activity, then he is very well participating over there. Then he gets bored, so
he doesn't know how to engage himself all by himself, basically.
So
we can give him something to play. Maybe we can give him some puzzles or something that he can engage with when he is not doing anything. So you can start telling him that, whenever you are free in the center, you can work on this toy or you can work on this puzzle. Maybe that will help.
Okay, sure. Thanks a lot.
Yes, thank you, Shita, for asking that question. So, ma'am, there's one more question. It says that how to increase the interest in writing.
That's a very popular question, ma'am.
Yes.
Even I would want to know something about this.
Yes, same.
Yeah. So I think the only way we can increase interest in something is by making that particular activity a pleasurable activity. Now, if my son is writing and I am on that person, you did not write the spell, erase it, write it again. Obviously, it's not going to be a pleasurable time for the person who is writing. We have to stop being perfectionists. We have to accept average or sub-average work. We have to accept legible handwriting versus beautiful and fast handwriting, and appreciate the effort of writing. So whatever you want to inculcate interest for, appreciate that act being done. That should be enough.
Okay, so I think, Parul, we have taken most of the questions from the...
हमारे कार्यक्रम का समय भी समाप्त हो रहा है और अब मेरे ख्याल से हम एक आखिरी क्वेश्चन ले सकते हैं अगर किसी भी हमारे दोस्त का है एंड हम धन्यवाद करना चाहेंगे एक इतने खूबसूरत सेशन के लिए और पेरेंट्स बता रहा है कि
Tammy, can we just ask ma'am how she would like to be contacted in case our parents would like to reach out to you, ma'am?
Yes. You have my number, ma'am. You can service it back.
Okay,
is that okay
the
for
same
you?
Number? Okay. So I'll write the number on the chat box.
Chat box. Thanks,
for whatever. So we hold the meeting for 2 minutes. I find out ma'am's number.
I'll just type it in.
Yeah.
Maybe ma'am could type it herself, Sam. It'll be easier.
Yes, ma'am. That would be easier.
I can do that, of course.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah,
thank you.
I'll just do that.
So ma'am is in Delhi, and for parents who are in Delhi, it's easy to book an appointment and meet ma'am. And those who wants to come outside, first check the availability of ma'am. And yes, ma'am, do you do any consultation online or
Yes, I do
Did you?
consultations online. For
That's
this.
perfect. Yeah. So the same number,
And
I think we
whenever
can.
I'm dealing, yes, ma'am, I have
Yeah.
typed the number. And
Yeah.
whenever I'm dealing with people who have
Yes.
neurodevelopmental concerns, I'm usually dealing with the social and emotional aspect. I do not deal with academic aspect. I would want to make that very clear.
Yes. Yes. And which is so important. We all need, I think, before our champions need that counseling, we as parents, Parul, you will agree, would
बिल्कुल
need it more from ma'am, and
हमारे
ma'am will understand what I'm trying to say. Yeah.
Yes,
Thank you
yes.
so much, Archana ma'am. And we also
Thank
want
you,
to
ma'am.
take some time to thank IIP West Delhi for always, Rashmi, you want to mention something, for always, connecting us to the experts who are, from in and around Delhi NCR region. And they have been very, very useful connections we have made. And Archana ma'am, you are in the same board now. And I think
My
we are
pleasure,
going to
ma'am.
come back to you for having more
Absolutely.
suggestions from
Anytime,
you.
ma'am. Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a big
My
thank you
pleasure,
to
ma'am.
Dr. Richa Parashar for always
Yes.
Yes,
connecting
a
to the
big thank
best
you to
of the
Dr. Richa.
resources.
Yes.
So thank you once again. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Rashmiti. Thank you, Parul ji. Thanks, Vrinda. Thanks, Sumikta ji. Thanks a
Thank
lot.
you
Thanks,
so much, ma'am. It
everybody.
was a pleasure hearing you, actually.
Thank
Lot
you,
of things I
ma'am. Thank
understood
you.
myself now. Okay, so
I'm,
I think it's really
I'm glad. I'm
amazing.
glad.
Thanks a
Thank
lot,
you.
ma'am, for being here.
Thank you, Archana,
Thanks,
so
Thank you,
much.
everyone.
Vrinda.
Thanks, Sammy and Parul, as usual, for conducting the session as beautifully as ever. So we will catch up next Thursday again, right?
Yeah.
So see you all till then. Thanks, Rashmi, ma'am. See you all
Thank you,
next
Archana.
week. Bye. Bye,
Thank you,
everybody.
Rashmi. Bye,
Bye.
Rashmi. Bye.
Bye. Bye, everyone. Thank you.